sa photosynthesis, ang pinaka nagbibigay talaga ng glucose is the second stage, which is the light-independent reaction. Now, kung may glucose ka na, may energy na ba agad? For example, we're talking about the plant. May energy na ba agad ang plants? O ano ba ang energy currency ng cell? Okay, ATP. So therefore, balik tayo sa question. Kung may glucose ka na, may energy ka na ba? The answer is no. Why? Kasi kailangan mo pang i-convert yung glucose para maging ATP. So that's when magkakaroon ka na ng energy to perform something. So kung meron ka palang food na in-intake, especially as, for example, kumain ka, na-absorb mo yung food, hindi ka magkakaroon ng energy kung hindi pa nagkakaroon ng conversion from the food to ATP. Kasi again, ATP fuels our body. Again, fuels our body. So that's why cellular respiration is very important for the glucose or the food to convert ATP para magkaroon ka ng energy na kinakailangan for you to do something to fuel your body. So, let's start with cellular respiration. Okay, thank you so much. So again, kung may food ka, naghintay ka ng food, hindi po agad-agad na magkakaroon ka ng energy. Kailangan pa pong ma-convert yung glucose or yung food na tinake mo para po siya maging usable energy in a form of our ATP. Meron siyang tatlong stages. The first one po is glycolysis. The second one po is Krebs cycle. And the third one po will be the electron transport chain. This one, medyo madali lang to kasi we're going to focus lang po on the input and output. In this cellular respiration, this is very important for oxidizing of food molecule like glucose to form carbon dioxide and water. Now, I want you to remember that glycolysis po happens po hindi sa loob ng mitochondria. Glycolysis happens outside, ibig sabihin po nasa cytoplasm. So, start tayo with glycolysis. What is the input of glycolysis? Yung isa, ano yon? Very good. That will be the glucose. Ilan ang carbon ng ating glucose? Okay, very good. 6 carbon molecules. Okay. Now, let's talk about the output. Since outputs to, medyo marami siya. And ang pinakang output po ni glycolysis will be the pyruvate. Again, pyruvate is the main product of glycolysis. Now, since this is 6 carbons, in glucose kasi, in glycolysis, hahatiin niyo po siya into 2. So, therefore, kung meron kang 6 carbon atoms, ang mapoproduce mo po ay tagtatatlo yan. 3 carbon atoms and 3 carbon atoms. A pyruvate po, meron siyang 3 carbon atoms. Again, meron siyang 3 carbon atoms. Dito po, sa pag-split ng sugar or ng glucose, again, magkakaroon ng 3 carbon molecules. So, si pyruvate po, that is a 3 carbon molecules. At sinasabi po na in glycolysis, one of the product also of glycolysis is NADH. Si NADH po, for every 3 carbon molecule po, magkakaroon ka po ng dalawang NADH. Again, makakapag-produce ka po ng NADH. And for every 3 carbon molecules also, makakapag-produce ka po ng 4 na ATP. Again, makakapag-produce ka po ng 4 na ATP. Pero, listen, ang pinakang output, ang net output po ni glycolysis in terms of ATP, well, only 2. Dalawa lang po ang magiging net output niya. Pero, for every 3 carbon molecule, 4 po ang napoproduce niya. So, in total, dito sa glycolysis, ang mapoproduce niya ay 4. Pero, ang pinakang product na lang na gagamitin is 2. Bakit? Balikan natin sa glycolysis. Di ba in glycolysis, this is the splitting of sugar. Splitting of glucose into 3 carbon molecules. Now, Sa glycolysis kasi, 'di ba, sabi ko dati na for every work na ginagawa ng katawan mo, kailangan mo ng energy. So therefore, glycolysis also needs energy. So ibig sabihin, kailangan din na gumamit ng energy. At in the process of glycolysis, gumagamit po at kailangan po ng dalawang ATP. Again, kailangan po ng dalawang ATP. Now, hindi pa nangyayari ang glycolysis. So, saan kukuha ng dalawang ATP? Yung dalawang ATP po na yun, ina-form po siya ng utang. Again, uutangin muna yung dalawang ATP. Kaya po, meron tayong tinatawag na investment phase. Ayan, investment phase and harvesting phase. Harvesting phase. Doon po sa investment phase, since alam naman na ang glycolysis makakapag-produce ng apat, yung dalawa po doon ay pinambayad dito sa nagamit nung una pa lang. Kaya 'di ba sabi ko kanina ang na-produce talaga for every 3 carbon molecule ng carbon is 4 na ATP. Pero dalawa na lang po ang matitira. Bakit? Kasi yung remaining or yung the other two po ay pinangbayad doon sa ginamit kanina sa glycolysis. Yun ang tinatawag nating investment. At itong harvesting naman po, ito yung pagkakaroon na ng ATP pagkatapos ng glycolysis. So, para siyang nangutang tapos binayaran, kaya ang natira na lang is dalawa. Clear po tayo doon. Can I see your reactions if that's clear? Can I see your reactions? Again, apat talaga ang napoproduce. Pero since ginamit kanina yung dalawa, nangutang si glycolysis muna, pinambayad na yung dalawa. Kaya ang pinaka natira na lang is dalawang ATP. Okay, so therefore, ang input again, glucose, at ang outputs natin is tatlo, dalawang pyruvate, dalawang NADH, at dalawang net ATP. So that's under glycolysis. So, tapos na. Tapos na ang glycolysis. So, itong NADH na to, si NADH, it will carry the energy to the mitochondria to be used in electron transport. Okay. Now, in glycolysis kasi, again, ang pinakang product sa glycolysis is si pyruvate. Pyruvate po is a 3 carbon molecule. Now, in pyruvate po, si pyruvate ay kinakailangan na pumasok sa mitochondria para magamit po siya in the second stage, which is the Krebs cycle. Pero ito na yung problema. Si pyruvate po, in a form of pyruvate, hindi po siya pwede at hindi niya kayang pumasok ng mitochondria. That's why pyruvate po must be converted into a form of acetyl-CoA or acetyl-CoA or coenzyme A. Again, si pyruvate kailangan magamit or gagamitin or input ni second stage, which is the Krebs cycle. Pero hindi kayang pumasok ni pyruvate. Kaya naman, kailangan niya muna mag-convert into acetyl-CoA. Now, paano naman natin mako-convert si pyruvate into making it an acetyl-CoA? Let's have the formation of acetyl-CoA or coenzyme A. Ayan. So, since ang i-convert lang naman natin dito is the pyruvate, so therefore, ang kanyang input will be the dalawang pyruvate. The outputs of the this formation or the conversion is of course dalawa pong acetyl-CoA or acetyl coenzyme A. Since meron po dito breaking down, meron pong ilalabas na carbon dioxide. So, makakapag-produce po siya ng dalawang carbon dioxide and also dalawang NADH molecule. Okay? Makapag-produce po siya ng NADH. So, these are the products of the acetyl-CoA formation. And since meron na tayong acetyl-CoA, pwede na tayo mag-proceed with the second stage which is the Krebs cycle. Tinatawag din po siyang citric acid cycle. Okay. Now, sabi ko kanina, ano ang magiging input ng ating Krebs cycle? Acetyl-CoA. Okay. Acetyl-CoA will be the main input of the Krebs cycle, and let's have the outputs of Krebs cycle. We actually have 4 outputs of Krebs cycle. Unang-una dyan, meron tayong 4 carbon dioxide. Ma'am, bakit po laging pinapalabas si carbon dioxide? Kasi carbon dioxide inside your body is harmful. So, kailangan niyang palabasin. Ma'am, bakit saan po nanggaling yung 4 dito tapos yung 2 dito? Nanggaling po siya sa glucose. Di ba meron siyang 6 from glucose? O yung 2, napalabas na natin kanina through acetyl-CoA formation. Tapos yung 4 naman is lalabas in the Krebs cycle. So, overall, yung carbon natin, yung lahat ng carbon natin is na-release na. Again, lahat ng carbon natin is na-release na. Okay, listen. The other outputs of Krebs cycle, meron din tayo makapag-produce ng 2 ATP, makapag-produce also siya ng 6 NADH, NADH, and 2 FADH2. Now, since meron na tayong outputs in the Krebs cycle, pwede na tayo makapag-proceed sa electron transport chain. So, ang ibig sabihin ng po ng ETC ay parade ng electrons. At yun ang nangyari din sa photosynthesis nung under ng light-dependent reaction. 'Di ba? Nagkaroon ng parade ng electrons, especially doon sa transferring from photosystem 2 to plastoquinone, to cytochrome B6F, to plastocyanin. Ayan. So, nagkaroon ng parade of electrons doon. So, yun na tinatawag nating ETC. Now, let's start with our electron transport chain. Na ang meaning na po talaga niya is the parade of electrons. Transferring of electrons, passing of electrons. Ayan. Okay. So, in this ETC, medyo important po ito kasi medyo maraming napoproduce dito or maraming napoproduce dito na ATP. Okay. Sige. Dito naman, since babalikan natin yung mga output na meron kay glycolysis and yung mga outputs na meron kay Krebs cycle. Kasi yun ang gagamitin natin for us to produce the total number of ATP in electron transport chain. Again, in electron transport chain, kailangan malaman natin yung total number of ATP as a product of this whole cellular respiration. So therefore, again, since this is a third and last stage of cellular respiration, nandito na po yung overall total ng number of ATP produced in glycolysis and in Krebs cycle. So let's start by identifying the inputs. Again, let's start by identifying the inputs. So ang inputs natin kanina, we have, okay, may mga NADH tayo, tapos meron tayong FADH2. Okay, now, sa inputs natin, ma'am, ilan yung NADH? Balikan natin si glycolysis. Meron tayong 2 from glycolysis. How about naman in Krebs cycle? Ay, meron pa pala, acetyl-CoA. Okay, sa acetyl-CoA, meron din tayong 2. Okay. Plus 2 ulit yan. Plus 2 kay acetyl-CoA. Tapos in Krebs cycle, meron tayong 6. Okay, we have 6. So therefore, the total number of NADH as input in electron transport chain is 10 NADH. How about naman FADH2? Si FADH2, meron lang naman siya dito kay Krebs cycle. So meron tayong 2. Again, meron tayong dalawang input na galing kay Krebs cycle. Okay. And this one po, paano natin ma-determine yung output or yung product kay electron transport chain? Ilan yung ATP na makukuha natin dito sa 10 NADH at sa 2 FADH2? Makinig po, meron tayong tinatawag na conversion. And actually, doon sa sinend ko sa inyong PPT, hindi ko kasi napansin, sorry na. Ang ginamit kasi doon na conversion is the old one. Kapag sinabing old conversion po, listen, pag sinabing old conversion, for every 1 NADH na molecule, meron ko pong 3 ATP. And for every 1 FADH, meron ka pong 2 ATP. This is the old conversion na ginamit sa PowerPoint. Pero the new conversion po or the current, binawasan po siya. So for every 1 NADH, meron ka pong 2.5 ATP at for every 1 FADH2, meron ka pong 1.5 ATP. So this is the conversion. Again, in the old one, for every NADH, merong 3 ATP. And for every FADH2, meron kang 2. Pero dito po sa new and the current conversion na ginagamit po, meron ka lang 2.5 ATP for NADH and 1.5 ATP for FADH2. So therefore, magkaroon muna tayo ng konting math. Sige, mag-konting math tayo. So therefore, kung meron kang 2.5 ATP kada isang NADH, so therefore, 2.5 times 10, kasi meron kang 10 NADH, so mag-yields po siya ng 25 ATP. And also, kung meron ka namang 1.5 na ATP per FADH2 times 2, meron ka pong 3 ATP. So therefore, ang product ng ating ETC po ay 28 ATP. Pero kung gagawin po natin siya sa old conversion, kung old conversion po ang gagamitin natin, kung lang naman ha. So let's try 3 times 10, so that's 30, tapos 2 times 2, so that's 4. So meron kang 34 na ATP kung old conversion ang gagamitin. But if you're going to use the new or current, meron ka lang 28 ATP. So let's add na kung ilang ATP talaga ang na-produce in the cellular respiration. So from the glycolysis, ayan, tapos sa Krebs, tapos sa ETC. So, i-add natin. In glycolysis, how many ATP ang na-produce in glycolysis? Meron kang 2 ATP. So, 2 ATP plus, ilan ang nasa Krebs cycle? Meron ka ding 2 ATP plus 28 from the Krebs or from the ETC. So, meron kang 32 ATP for every 1 glucose. So, this is the total in cellular respiration. Yun lang. Clear? Kasama po ito again sa ating quarterly examination. So, I hope na na-discuss ko po ng okay, especially si cellular respiration. Again, hindi ko na po discuss yung pinakang deeper kasi medyo mahaba po siya. kung may mga kung ano-anong terms pa siya. Kaya nag-focus na lang po ako sa pinakang input tsaka output kasi yun din naman po ang isa sa pinakamahalaga in terms of cellular respiration. So again, meron tayong old and new conversion ha. So, nabawasan lang ng 0.5. Okay po?